Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be my current library book haul. So currently I have 16 books checked out from the library and I'm just going to share with you what I currently have checked out. I use my library an awful lot, and in 2026 I do kind of want to get a better balance between using my library and also reading the books that I currently own, because I feel that this year the balance has definitely been in favour of reading library books over my own books, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when I've got so many books I feel like I need to make sure I am reading from there. But I use my library a lot. I'm always putting in reservations for new releases. I read a lot of new releases from the library. I do also buy a lot of new releases as well, but I get a lot from the library. And where I live, it is free to check out books and free to reserve other books from within the county. So I do make good use of that. The only problem with that is, as I say, I will browse through the catalogue and put reservations on before books are released. But a lot of the time the reservations all come in at once, which is why I've got so many checked out at the moment, because a lot of my reservations came in all at once. I think last weekend or maybe the weekend before I had 9 books to collect, so all the reservations had come in. So without further ado, let's dive into the books. As I say, I think I've got 16 in total to go through. So I've got some fall, autumn romances and some spooky reads that obviously I had reservations on in the hopes that they would arrive for autumn spooky season, but they obviously, some of them had a long wait time. It's the same with Christmas romances. I've put some Christmas romances on hold from the library and I'm in position 9, and I guarantee that they will come in after Christmas. So let's dive in to the book. So first one I have is Let's Give 'Em Pumpkin to Talk About, and this is by Isabel Popp. This was an Afterglow book. As you may be aware, if you watched my other videos, I cancelled my Afterglow subscription a few months ago because I just decided that I wasn't really reading the books, and the editions are obviously just like standard paperback. So, and as I said, you can get most of them from the library, so I did cancel my Afterglow subscription, and this was one of the books, and this is one that I do want to read. This is a small town romance, grumpy sunshine and spicy. As with all Afterglow books, it has the little tropes on the background, but this is about Sadie, who is helping to look after her father's pumpkin patch, and she obviously meets the next door neighbour. It looks like it's a neighbour romance as well, with a millionaire, tech millionaire. So interested to see what I make of this one. It's obviously a really short one, so I should fly through it quite quickly. Then we have All Wrapped Up by Heidi Swain. I've read a couple of Heidi Swain books and I've liked them, but she isn't necessarily a favourite author. But when I saw that she had an autumn book out, she writes a lot of Christmas books, so if you're looking for Christmas books, this is an author to check out. But I wanted to check out this one because I just love the autumnal cover. And this is following Clemmy. She's renovating a cottage in a small town. She is a widow by the looks of it, and she has a romance. Is it a romance? She makes a friends with the owner of a cafe, and they have an autumn festival, and there is the local vet Ash, who she obviously falls for. So looking forward to checking this one out. I can't wait. I think it's going to be a fun time. Then we have A Cinnamon Falls Mystery by R.L. Kilmore. This one I am really looking forward to. I've heard mixed things about it, but I love the kind of funny title and the kind of, I don't know if this is the author's, oh no, it is a pseudonym. I was going to say, surely this is not their real name, but R.L. Kilmore is pretty funny. Obviously it's a play with the kind of pumpkin spice cafe. It's definitely got that sort of vibe, but this is a murder mystery and obviously like autumn based. So looking forward to checking this out. And this is going to be part of a series as well. There's going to be 3 other books by the looks of it. Death at Daffodil Inn and The Berry Bakery Murder. So I'm hoping I enjoy this so I can check out the other ones. This one had a really long wait time, So I've been waiting for this one for a while, but obviously it must be popular if a lot of people are checking it out. So looking forward to diving into that one. Then we have Road Trip with a Vampire by Jenna Levine. I have read the 2 previous books in this series and I would say they're okay reads. I think I gave one of them 4 stars and one 3 star. But they are fun vampire books and I love vampire books. This one I think is a witch and a vampire romance, so I'm definitely interested to check this one out and see what I make of it. Then we have A Serial Killer's Guide to Marriage by Asia McKay. This one I actually saw a copy in Tesco and I was intrigued by the cover and I read the blurb and it sounded interesting, so I decided to reserve a copy from the library. But it is about a married couple who are ex-serial killers and they have recently got married and have a baby, so they have given up that life to kind of live in the suburbs, and they recently feel the need to kill again. And yeah, it sounds interesting. I'm interested to see what this is like and hopefully I will enjoy it. I've not read it. I'm not sure if this is the author's debut book, but I've not seen any talk about this book, so we'll see. Then I have Hazardous to a Duke's Heart by Sabrina Jeffries. Really looking forward to diving into this one. This is I think this is part of a new series for Sabrina Jeffries. Does it tell me? No, it doesn't mention it in here. If it is part of a series, I'll put the series name on screen. But this is a historical romance. I do love historical romances and I do try to read as many as I can. I feel like I haven't been reading as many this year as I maybe would have liked. I have really been focusing on fantasy and fantasy romance, but I do still like picking them up, and this one is her newest release. I think this came out this year. Yeah, it did come out this year, so looking forward to diving into this one. It's relatively short, so hopefully I will enjoy that one too. Now we have a few hardbacks, which I'll be honest, I don't love reading hardbacks, but I prefer a paperback, but newer releases tend to come in hardbacks depending on the genre. So we have A Theory of Dreaming by Ava Reid. This is the sequel to A Study in Drowning, which I read earlier this year and I liked. I think I gave it 4 stars or maybe 3, I can't actually remember, but I did like it and I liked it enough to continue on. I think this is just a duet, so that's why I wanted to pick it up, because I was like, well, the story will be complete in this. I can't actually remember too much about the first book, so I'll probably need to reread the synopsis for the first one before diving into this one, but I'm excited to go into this one. Ava Reid is definitely an author that I have read quite a few things from this year, and she's definitely an author that I want to continue reading into the future. Then we have Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. Now, I don't know too much about this one, but T. Kingfisher is a very popular author. I've heard a lot of people talk about their books, and I do want to give them a try. And I was considering picking up this book from Waterstones, but I thought I would be responsible and try it from the library first before committing to purchasing a copy. It says it's a dark reimagining of Snow White, so definitely interested to check this one out. I think T. Kingfisher writes in a few different genres. I think she does write fantasy romance, but I think she also writes other things as well. And I think this does lead more to the romance side of things, I'm hoping. So we shall definitely see about that. And then I have Julie Chan is Dead by Lian Zhang. This one is a murder mystery. I don't know too much about it, to be honest, and I can't remember why I picked this one up. Yeah, I can't remember what drew me to this book. I feel like maybe I saw someone talking about it and decided to check it out from the library, but I know nothing about it. As it's a murder mystery, I like to know not too much, but I'm definitely intrigued by this one. Then we have Cry Wolf by Patricia Briggs. This is the first book in a paranormal romance series. Again, I can't remember the name of the series. But the reason I picked up this one is because recently my library has added a new book by Patricia Briggs, which I think was a short story collection set in this world. And I was intrigued by that. I liked the look of it, and I opened it up to kind of read about it, and then I realised it was a short story collection set in this series, so I obviously was like, well, I can't just pick that up, I'm going to have to try the series first. So I've got this first book to give a try, see what I can make of it. Then we have Fine Shade by Kate Griffin, which this one I am actually currently reading. This one is a gothic horror. And so far it's about this girl called Marta who, at the beginning of the book, her grandma dies and she is sent away to be this governess for this child, but she knows like nothing about this child or this house or anything really. She's just sent away, and there is definitely something strange going on at the house. It kind of in some ways gives a little bit of Jane Eyre vibes, because Jane Eyre was obviously a governess and there was obviously secrets in Thornfield, is that right? And I am interested to see where this one goes. As I say, I've not read too much of it yet, but I am enjoying it so far. Then we have Forging Silver into Stars by Brigid Kemmerer. This one is the first book in a series from her called I think the series might be the same title actually. I don't know too much about this one, and I've read a few things from this author in the past, but I was intrigued to try out some more of her books. She writes young adult fantasy, so I'm interested to see how I get on with this one. Then we have When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This one is a adult fantasy romance that was extremely popular. This is the paperback edition which came out this year. I was going to pre-order the deluxe special edition, which I'll put a picture on screen of what that cover looks like, and I did have it on pre-order with Waterstones, but I decided that I didn't love the cover, so I cancelled that pre-order, and I thought I'd try the book from the library, and then obviously if I like it I will end up buying a copy maybe. But I have heard mixed things about this one. This one involves dragons, which isn't necessarily always my favourite thing. I think with fantasy romance I do like ones that are just kind of involving people. I'm not necessarily love when it's like involving creatures and things like that, like dragons. That's not necessarily my favourite thing, but I still wanted to give it a try, so we shall see how I get on with that. And we have just the last 3 books now. So I have 2 books by the same author, and that is by Kerri Manasalko. This is Kingdom of the Wicked, which is the first book in the trilogy of the same title. This is her young adult series that kind of was before the other series I have to mention, and that's the second book in that series, which is Throne of Secrets. So I read Throne of the Fallen last month, the month before, and I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to continue on with the series, hence picking up the second book. This series follows the Princes of Sin, so like the 7 deadly sins, and this one is going to follow gluttony. So I think each book is going to have its own storyline, and it's obviously a romance. And I don't know too much about this trilogy, about what the premise of the plot is, but the characters in this trilogy do feature in the first book of this series. You don't necessarily have to have read this to read this series, although I think it is obviously recommended, and things that are mentioned, the characters that are obviously in this series do feature in this series. So I think if you've read this, you might enjoy this more. I don't know, but I am definitely excited to pick those ones up at some point. And then the last one I have is Princess of Blood by Sarah Hawley. This one I am really excited for. This is the sequel to The Servant of Earth, is that what it's called? Let me just see. Yeah, Servant of Earth, which I read earlier this year and really enjoyed. And that one definitely ended on a cliffhanger, so I was eager to pick up the sequel, but I've obviously had a really long wait for that. The book has finally come, and I am definitely looking forward to diving into this one. This one again is another fantasy romance, and I cannot wait to pick this one up. And they are all of the books that I currently have checked out from the library. I'm really excited to dive into all of these at some point. You will probably see them in some upcoming videos. But let me know if you use your local library, what you've currently got checked out, and I will see you in my next video.